Hey everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. We are here today to make something vegetarian. I had a number of my friends who were asking me for vegetarian recipes, and so I decided to pull one out of my mother's cookbook, and she really enjoyed. Mom could have easily been a vegetarian. She liked to eat beef and pork, but given her druthers, she'd probably just as soon have lots of vegetables, especially this time of year when we were starting to pick fresh vegetables out of the garden. We always had bell peppers and tomatoes. Dad would grow cucumbers, zucchini, squash. So this is a great summer recipe because you can use all of those wonderful summer vegetables that you can get here at our local farmer's market. It's also a great vegetarian recipe. However, if you like, you can saute up some Fulvio's Italian sausage and put that right in there. That's also very good. But I'm going to make it the vegetarian way. I will tell you it's not vegan, it's vegetarian. There's some great mozzarella cheese in here. There's some Parmesan cheese in this, and just a little bit of heavy cream. In fact, I want to prove to you that I actually measured. I don't measure very often, but I actually did. It's 1/4 cup of heavy cream for 6 eggs, okay? And so that's what we've got in here. Now, in your egg mixture, which looks pretty good already, I don't want to spill it, but what we've got in there, we've got 6 eggs, we've got 1/4 cup of heavy cream, just a pinch of Italian seasonings. And no, it's not a new shirt, it's actually an old shirt. My wife just asked if it's a new shirt. She's at the office watching. Now, what I've already started doing in a pan, and again, you want to do this in a pan that can go from stovetop to oven, because that's what we're going to do. I have sauteed my onions and peppers, and as you know, I don't like my peppers really soft. I like them a little al dente, so I put them in after I got the onions cooked down a little bit. Now you can put anything in here. You can put asparagus, you can put zucchini, you can put squash. What I'm doing today, I've got some onions and peppers. I'm going to cook in some baby spinach. So we're going to cook that down. And I've got some fresh Roma tomato that I diced up. It's not as ripe as I like it. It's not like the ones we used to pick out of my parents' garden. But the reason I use Roma tomatoes, you don't want a lot of excess liquid. And so Roma tomatoes give you a lot of kind of that meaty tomato without a lot of the juice. So you don't have to strain them. I just diced it up and it's ready to go. I'm going to put that in. In fact, why don't we put them in right now just to get them warmed up a little bit. Oh, there we go. So again, what you want to put in the egg mixture, 6 eggs, a little salt and pepper, which I haven't done. I'll do that right now. Not a lot, just a little. I like pepper. I know Richard Herwick's watching. Richard, look, it's fresh ground pepper. I just got some fresh, brand new Himalayan sea salt. There we go, a little of that. And again, so in the eggs, I've got 6 eggs, 1/4 cup of heavy cream, some mozzarella cheese, some Parmesan cheese, and just a pinch of Italian seasoning. A little oregano, a little basil. You don't need a lot of it. You didn't put it. There's no garlic in this. So this is a great recipe if you're doing brunch for the whole family, because you can make a big one if you have a big pan, or you can just do a quick little saute like I'm doing here with the vegetables. You just want to get them nice and warmed up. I've probably got my onions a little overcooked, but that doesn't bother me very much. And I've reserved some more of the mozzarella. This is fresh grated mozzarella that we're going to put in there in just a little bit. Now, what you want to do is saute your veggies. The great thing about a frittata, it's basically a quiche without a crust. It's an omelet without having to fold it over. It's not really scrambled eggs, and because you're going to do a little bit of it on the stovetop, and then we're going to finish it off in the oven, and it's going to puff up a little bit, almost like a souffle. But it's really simple, really easy, and again, you can make it with just about whatever you have on hand at the house. So I've got that going, and as you know, this looks like a lot of spinach, but it will cook down very quickly. So I'm going to toss that in there. I rinsed it off real well. I'm going to give that a little stir in with the tomatoes. I've got my onions and peppers and tomatoes. So this is a really veggie heavy recipe. To get the spinach to cook down a little faster, I'm just going to cover it up for a couple of seconds. I have preheated my oven. It is up to 375. You can do this entirely on the stovetop if you want. You don't actually have to put it in the oven, although you're going to get a lighter fluffier consistency when you do the way I'm going to show you, which is we're going to just start the eggs, get them cooking a little bit on the bottom, get a little brown around the edges, and then we're going to pull it off the heat and we'll throw it in the oven. And it won't be in the oven for very long, 7 to 10 minutes, maybe a little more depending on how much you're using. You see how fast this is going to cook down? It's going to cook down very quickly. I misplaced my spatula. Now, spinach is a lot of water and it cooks away very quickly under medium heat. And I've got the stove on medium heat, but I want you to take a look at this because it's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to bring you guys over and let you take a look at this. If you cover the spinach, it cooks down a little faster, but look at that. Look how pretty that is. Great colors. I used red pepper, red bell pepper, again, the Roma tomato, a little red onion, and now that spinach, which is in there. And I'm gonna let that cook down just a little bit more. So you take your eggs, you beat the eggs, and mix that nice heavy cream, a quarter cup. You put mozzarella cheese right into the egg so it bakes into the frittata. So that's gonna be nice. My last ingredient that I'm gonna use today, that spinach is coming along nicely. I could have put more in, as a matter of fact. One thing I love, these are not spicy. These are the mild peppers. They're just pepper rings. I got them, they're the Marzetti brand. You can get them hot or you can get them mild. They're basically, banana peppers sliced into rings. And one of the reasons I didn't put too much salt in there is because this is going to give a good bit of saltiness to the dish. Robert Webster asked, where's the wine? There's no wine in this dish. There might be some wine in me later on. I was running late, so I didn't even have time to fix a drink. So I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in there, not a lot. This is just nice, mild. Richard Herwig's going to lose his mind, but it's going to give it just a little zip. It's a little zing. It'll be very, very good when it's all said and done. I also, as I said, I stirred in the mozzarella cheese and just about a tablespoon of Parmesan cheese into the egg mixture. So when you got everything going, I'm going to cut the heat back just a little bit. I'm going to stir that around. I just want to get my pepper rings warmed up. And you can see how quickly and how little of that spinach. It looked like I put in a whole bunch, but you can see that it's virtually gone. There's not a lot, but you want a little something green in there. This is good with asparagus. You can put, my kids hate green beans, but you can do it with green beans. Any vegetable will work. All right, so now we've got the pan, medium heat. You've got your vegetables softened up, and I've got the tomatoes in there. We used to grow fresh Roma tomatoes, and you pick them, and you could eat them like an apple. They were delicious. All right, I'm going to spread this around. Again, you don't want to scramble this. This is not going to be a scramble. So we're going to add in the egg, just like that. Ah, very nice. Now, all you want to do is give that a little, just like that, just real gentle. Make sure that the egg is nicely incorporated all through the vegetables. And now, I want you to take a look at this, because this is going to go pretty quickly from here on out. So we've covered the vegetables almost entirely. You turn up the heat just a little bit. You notice the egg is already starting to firm up. What we're going to do is let that continue for just a couple of minutes. You don't want to overdo it. And then we're going to take that and throw it into the oven, which is coming up to temperature. Again, I put that oven at 375. If you want to cook it a little faster, a little quicker, and you're only going to do it in the oven, you can put it about 350 and bake it longer. Then you just put the egg mixture in your sauteed vegetables and throw it right in the oven. I like to cook the frittata just a little bit, and you don't want to stir it around. What you want to get is more of an almost custard-like consistency going in there. And I've put a good bit of mozzarella cheese because I like it really nice and cheesy. This was one of the great vegetarian dishes that my mother loved to make. She would frequently make it often when Dad was out of town, because he was a meat and potatoes guy. You couldn't serve a meal without meat and potatoes. She liked to do ratatouille. She liked to do this dish. We made pasta fagioli, which was vegetarian in our house, although now I like to throw in some pancetta or bacon or prosciutto to give it that little flavor. Of course, pasta fagioli is more of a wintertime dish, but I love it any time of the year. All right, we got that in there. I'm going to let it cook just a little bit longer before we take it off the stove and throw it into the oven. Again, you can use whatever vegetables that you are comfortable with, saute them up, get them a little soft, and then that nice egg mixture. And if you're gonna make it for a big group, you're gonna do a large group, you're gonna put 8 or 10 eggs in there, you're gonna wanna put a little bit more of the heavy whipping cream. So make sure you have that on hand. I put 1/4 cup for the half dozen eggs. What am I drinking? Mary, I'm gonna be drinking a Jack in just a little bit. I said at the start of this, I was running behind today. I didn't even have time to pour myself a glass of wine before I started cooking. So anyway, we've got that. It's firm around the edges, and it's bubbling just a little bit. That's too hot. All right, into the oven it's gonna go. Just like that. So you wanna be sure that you're using a pan that you can put right into the oven. So here we go. It's still very liquidy on top. You can see that, right? Here, let me move it up there. It's still, but it's starting to firm up around the edges. Boom. Right into the oven. One of the other things, oh, and I forgot. When you put it in the oven, put a little extra cheese right on top. Come here, baby. There we go. Beautiful. All right. Much to my own chagrin, I didn't even use all of my cheese. So it's a very versatile recipe, and again, if you want to make it with meat, you can certainly do that. We often would saute up some of our homemade sausages and throw them in there. It's rolling. My father-in-law says samples would be nice. Well, you know, over the weekend, we might have to make some of these recipes for you guys. So that's going to stay in the oven for about 7 to 10 minutes, depending. You want to let it fluff up nice. I'm going to leave it in there for a little bit, and then we'll pull it out and take a peek at it. But it's a very simple recipe and a very easy recipe. And again, my friend Raju over at El Paseo Jewelers, he is a vegetarian. He's like, how come you don't make any vegetarian dishes? Well, to be honest, we don't eat a lot of vegetarian dishes other than salad in our house because, you know, I like a good steak or a good pork chop. But this was one of those dishes, and it's great for the summertime because everything we're going to do is in that one pan. Now, you know, you're going to cook a little on the stove, you got the oven going, but it's all in that one pan, all your vegetables, you got the eggs with the protein. So it is really a one-dish dinner that can serve the whole family, and they'll love it. And it's also, again, great for breakfast or brunch. If you're having people over for brunch, you can make it a little ahead of time. It's very nice and very easy, and you can mix everything up and then just, and you see how fast it goes. It took, what, 10, 12 minutes. Remember to turn the stove off. I really like these spicy pepperings. They're not the hot ones, they're the mild ones, but it gives it a little extra kick. And don't forget your Parmesan cheese. You want good Parmesan Reggiano. I mixed that into the egg mixture, and before I serve it, I'm going to dust the top of that frittata with a little bit of extra Parmesan Reggiano. So it's super easy, it's super quick, and it satisfies all those vegetarians who have been asking about, when are you going to do a vegetarian dish? Let me check and see how it's doing. We got a little ways to go. So I'm going to post the final product, and the ingredients are already on my Facebook page, and again, you can do it with whatever you like. And if you got a garden going, use those fresh vegetables. It's a great summertime dish because you get all of those fresh veggies in one dish, and it's terrific to feed the whole family. Really quick, really easy. Of course, the video will be posted online, and I will post the full recipe. But this one's one of those, and like so many Italian dishes, it's very flexible. It's super easy to substitute stuff that you like for stuff that you don't, and that way you can please the whole family. Oh, you like the, okay, who was that? Oh, that was Lori Ward. Yeah, my wife got me this, the Grill Father. And the last time we tried to do any of the cooking segments outside, it was very much like today. It was almost 110, and it got so hot that the iPhone quit. But one day we'll do some more stuff out on the grill. I'm gonna, you know, I love to do stuff on the grill. I've got this great grill with a rotisserie. We've done some rotisserie rack of lamb. I'd love to show you that sometime with the marinade we make. So anyway, I'll post a final picture. It's going to be this beautiful, fluffy looking souffle like frittata. I know you'll love it. And again, thanks for joining me here in the kitchen. Each Thursday we like to share a couple of recipes. Normally I have a drink, and by golly, I'm going to go get one. But thanks guys for joining me. Have a great evening. Make this recipe. You're going to love it. And especially for the fresh veggie lovers in your house, this is a terrific dish. Have a great evening, and of course, I'll see you tomorrow morning on News Channel 3. And don't forget, tune in to CV 1043 each afternoon starting at 2. Thanks for checking in.